Hi everybody, welcome. Oh, yes? Hi everybody, welcome to the Relish Plus Cooking Show. I'm Alli, I'm a nutritionist and a yoga teacher and author of the smoothie book, and I'm here to do 3 awesome meal prep recipes with you today. We're super excited. We've got some great things to do today. I'm going to prep 3 recipes, so this is just a great way to get a head start on your cooking for the week. You can do this on Sundays, you can do it the day before. All the things we're making today, you can do ahead of time so that you save a lot of time during the week. And if you have any questions or comments during the show related to the recipes that we're doing today, please put them in the chat, and Elin, my coworker, will be answering those questions for you, so please join in on the conversation. We love to talk during the show. Okay, so I'm going to name the recipes for you because this is very exciting. We're doing chickpea shawarma bowls, we're doing honey sriracha chicken and broccoli bowls, and we're doing shrimp lettuce wraps with avocado. So good. Okay, so let's start with the chickpea shawarma bowls. These, I'm going to make a lot of this part because you can make a lot of this in advance, which is so great. Okay. Let's make the chickpeas first. So we're going to season some chickpeas, then they go in the oven, they get roasted, and you can have them, they're really good as a snack too. We eat these as snacks all the time at our house. Or you can have them and put them in your bowls later. Okay, so let's get started. We've got 1 can of garbanzo beans right here, drained, rinsed, all ready to go. I'm going to put that right here. And then we've got 5 spices. We're going to start with 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. And then we have a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to put this in with the cumin because I like to mix all of my spices together before seasoning something, because then everything's kind of evenly seasoned. Okay, then we have half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. This makes it really delicious. I have to say, I was making these last night and our kitchen smelled so good. Then we've got a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, mixing that in as well. And we've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground turmeric, which gives it that really nice color. Okay, so we've got all of our spices right here. We're going to take a spoon, mix it all up so it's just a really good spice blend. You can use this on all kinds of things. You can season chicken with this. You can roast vegetables, garbanzo beans like we're doing today. All right, so here we go. Everything looks good. Looks like a curry powder. Okay, then we've got this here. We're going to bring our garbanzo beans here. We're going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. I always just eyeball it because I just like to be sure I'm putting a really good amount. Okay, so we're putting the olive oil on the garbanzo beans like so. And then I'm going to add the seasoning. So pour it all in and mix it all together so everything is really evenly seasoned. You can also do this on the baking sheet too, but I like to do it in the bowl because then everything is just all contained a little bit better. Okay, so here we go. We've got it all nicely mixed, and I'm going to set this aside, put all of our spice bowls together here. Okay. And I have a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Oven is preheated to 400. We're going to pour all of the seasoned garbanzo beans or chickpeas. That's what the recipe says, chickpeas. Same thing though, garbanzos and chickpeas are the same. Okay, whoops. And you want to spread them all out in one even layer. Okay. And then we put them in the oven, And the recipe says 25 to 30 minutes. I did 25 and it made them pretty crispy, but I think if you want them a little bit crispier, do 30 minutes, check them, do 5 more minutes if you want. You know, the longer the crispier. I usually do about 40 minutes, but 25 to 40 minutes, I would say, depending on how crispy you like them. So here we go. We've got our garbanzo beans going into the oven, and then I have the final product to show you as well. Let's move this olive oil. Here are the roasted garbanzo beans. They are so, so good, so crispy, and really delicious. So you can make this ahead of time. You can keep them in a container in the refrigerator, and if you're gonna eat them at home, instead of like if you're taking this somewhere else, it's one thing, but if you're gonna make them at home, you can always re-roast them in a pan really quickly to kind of crisp them up and make them warm, or eat them as is. So here we go. We've got our garbanzo beans. Next, we're gonna make a tahini lemon sauce to go with it, or dressing, tahini lemon dressing. And this is always a delicious, delicious combination. I make this all the time at our house. Okay, so tahini lemon dressing. It only has 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients plus salt and pepper. Super easy. So if you have a jar of tahini, you can always make this. Okay, so we're gonna start off with 1/3 cup of tahini, which is ground sesame seeds. We're gonna put that in our bowl. Let's move this here. Okay, I'm gonna put that in our bowl. 1/3 cup. And we have 1 clove of garlic, minced, so cut really, really small. Add that in here. And then we have 1½ lemons, which, whoops, some of the garlic got caught on the tahini. We don't want that. Okay, we want all the garlic as possible. Okay. Then I cut up this lemon because this lemon was really big, so I was afraid it would not fit into the lemon juicer. So this is 1½ lemons. So it says about 1/4 cup of lemon juice, or 4 tablespoons, same. Okay, so we've got 1 lemon slice here. And we're just gonna keep juicing these lemons. It smells really good in here, by the way. The garlic, the lemon, the tahini, such a great combination. Okay, we got 3 to go. Whoops. Okay, so if you do have a larger lemon, you can always cut it into slices and then put it in the lemon juicer. Or you can hand squeeze it too. Whatever works. I like this because then the seeds don't get in the way. Makes it a lot easier. Okay, and there we go. So this is a very lemony tahini sauce. Dressing. I keep saying sauce. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put this aside. And what else? What else? I got the recipe right here. And 1/3 cup of hot water. This is very important for making sauces or dressings, because sometimes tahini or peanut butter or things can be kind of thick. So this really helps thin out a sauce by putting hot water. So I just boiled some hot water ahead of time. Ooh, I see a lemon seed in there. Oh boy. Okay. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Then we're going to take a whisk it all together. And this is such a good combination. Makes it nice and smooth. We're going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. We've got some pink Himalayan salt right here. Always a nice addition. I just like that it's pink. It just makes it kind of more fun. And we've got pepper. All right, here we go. And I'm going to add just a little bit more water. I like it a little bit thinner because we're going to drizzle this over our bowls of the chicken shawarma. So we kind of like to have it a little bit thinner. Okay, here we go. That looks really good. It's almost like a thin hummus in a way. Oh, that looks delicious. Okay, so we've got our lemon tahini garlic dressing. Okay, now we're going to put together most of the bowl. So you can do this ahead of time too. If you're making this days in advance, get yourself one of these nice glass containers and we're gonna put in our grains. So I made some brown rice. I made a big batch of brown rice. And you can do any grain. The recipe lists quinoa or cauliflower rice that's been cooked. Any kind of grain. Super, super easy to have this on hand. I make a lot of extra grains in our house. We always have quinoa, or we always have brown rice, or we always have some kind of pasta or something so that you can add it as a base for any kind of bowl, things like that. Fried rice is always good to have too. Okay, so we've got a layer of brown rice. Here we go. And I'm gonna bring this tray over, and then we're gonna put in some romaine lettuce. That's always a nice addition to a bowl. So I would say, you know, put this all together if you're eating it that day. Have everything separate if you're gonna make them days in advance, because the lettuce might get a little bit wiggly. Okay, then we've got diced cucumber. Here we go. And we've got cherry tomatoes right here. This is looking good. It's so pretty. And red onion sliced. So these are very strong red onions. We could smell these all morning in the room, but they make a nice flavor for these bowls. Okay, then we're gonna add some garbanzo beans. So these are the roasted garbanzo beans. Put them on top, and that is just looking so, so good. So let's say we're eating this today. We can put the dressing, we can drizzle the dressing onto it right away. Let's use this spoon here. Okay, so drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. See how nice and smooth that dressing is? And there we go. That is so delicious. So, so delicious. Okay, that is our chicken shawarma bowl. And then the recipe also calls for pita chips and tzatziki sauce and parsley. And feta cheese. So good. So that's a lot of flavors, and you're gonna be very full and very happy when you eat this bowl. Chickpea shawarma bowls. And then the nice thing about these dressings is that you can put them in a jar. So we're gonna do that now. We're gonna put these in a jar, and you can save it for later. You can use it for other things too. I make dressings all the time, and we use it for a lot of different things. So you can store it in a glass jar, just like this. And then you have it on hand. And if it kind of separates, then you can always whisk it again, or you can shake the jar. Whoops. And it all will be good. So doesn't that look delicious? I highly recommend making this recipe. We will be making this at our house for sure. Okay, so then we've got our dressing. So the things you can do in advance: make the dressing, make the chickpeas. Whoops, move the dressing. You can make the chickpeas, make the dressing, make your grain ahead of time, chop your veggies, and then all you have to do is assemble. Assembly recipes are the best. Okay, so I'm gonna put this downstairs. Okay, there we go. All right, next recipe is honey sriracha chicken and broccoli bowls. Now this is really good. So I'm just gonna talk through what you do with the chicken and broccoli, because you wanna make those the day you're gonna have the recipe. So I'm just gonna show you, I'm gonna demonstrate the things you can make ahead. So the chicken, super easy. You put it, let's see, you use egg whites, cornstarch, coat the chicken pieces, put that on a baking pan, cook that for about 10 minutes. Then you add the broccoli, you cook that for about 10 minutes. Flip the chicken, make sure it's cooked all the way through. So that's super easy. You can do that the day that you're gonna make the recipe, or the day that you're gonna eat it. In advance, you can make the honey sriracha sauce, which is super easy. Only 4 ingredients. I've got them right here. Let's move this hot water. I think we're using the hot water for this one as well. So let's see. We've got everything here. Let's get our bowls together. So we've got 4 ingredients. And I think some hot water too. I know that we're using hot water several times today. Hot water is such a great way to help thin sauces if they get a little bit too thick. Okay, so honey sriracha bowl. 2 tablespoons of honey. Let's see, we got honey. All right, so 2 tablespoons of honey. So this is a pretty thick honey, so that hot water might come in handy for this bowl. Alrighty, and 1 teaspoon of seasoned rice vinegar right here. It's a really small amount, but that's good because it's seasoned. It has a pretty good amount of flavor. Then we have a teaspoon of sesame oil, toasted sesame oil. That a little bit goes a long way with toasted sesame oil, and I love toasted sesame oil. I add it to everything. And we have 2 tablespoons of sriracha. We're going to be using sriracha twice today, so that's what's nice about having these meal plans too, is a lot of times you have crossover with ingredients. You can use them more than once, which is really, really nice. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so let's whisk this together and see if we need some hot water. It's coming together actually pretty well, but I'm going to add just a little bit of hot water because it's super, super helpful. That is the key to making good sauces, is having some hot water on hand. Okay, so that's it. It smells so good. The sriracha and the honey and everything mixed together, such a good combo. Okay, so we're gonna make this and we're gonna put it in the bowl, or put it into a jar. You can use the whisk here. So you've got that ahead of time. You know, you save yourself a lot of time when you make the sauces ahead of time. You could even chop the broccoli, cut the chicken up, put those in bags ahead of time too, if you want to save a little bit more time on the day of making it. So you've got this, and then we've already got our brown rice ahead of time, or you could use other grains too, whatever sounds good to you. We use brown rice a lot at our house. So you've already got it ahead of time. So you just layer the brown rice into your bowl, especially if you're going to be having this, you know, if you're going to take it to work or take it somewhere else. You layer your rice. You've got that already mapped out for your day. Put the lid on, put that in the refrigerator. You've got your sauce. You're ready to go. All you have to do is cook the chicken, cook the broccoli. The cooking time is 20 minutes. Dinner's ready in less than 30 minutes. So, so great. Okay, so that's the honey sriracha. And one thing I also wanted to tell you is sometimes I make grains ahead of time, and then I put them in a freezer-safe Ziploc bag, put it flat in the freezer, and then you have grains when you need them. So you can always, the nice thing about putting them in a bag like that is you can crack off pieces, and then you just use whatever you need. So really, really good tip I learned when I worked at a cafe to do that. So it's super helpful. And you know what else it's really helpful for is broth, like chicken broth. Put it in a plastic bag, put it on a baking sheet, put it in the freezer, and then it's flat, and then you can just crack pieces off as you need it. So, so great. Okay, we are on our third recipe, shrimp lettuce wraps with avocado. This looks really, really good. And we've got our ingredients right here. Okay, I'm gonna take our sauce ingredients out. Peanut butter is one of the ingredients, which is one of my favorite foods. And we're gonna use this in a moment, so I'll put this over here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so this recipe is a peanut sauce, one of my favorite types of sauce because peanut butter is the best. Okay, so we're gonna start with peanut butter, a half of a cup. And this is the natural Adams peanut butter. That's my favorite. So this one is always a little bit thicker, but that is okay because we've got hot water. Okay, then we have, let's see, 1 lime. So let's get that juicer again. I already cut the lime in half. This adds just such a nice, fresh flavor to a sauce. Okay. Ooh, that's a good lime. All right. And the other lime half. There we go. Okay. And then we have a tablespoon of Sriracha. So this is where we have our crossover. Tablespoon of Sriracha. And a tablespoon of soy sauce, which soy sauce a little bit goes a long way too for flavor. All right, let's see how this goes. I think I can already tell that we're gonna need some hot water because that was this was a new jar of peanut butter. So it's always good to have the hot water. Okay, let's stir this together. Sometimes you have to just keep stirring to thin it out a little bit. There we go. All right, that's looking good. It smells so good. Okay, and this is a great dip too for veggies. We have a peanut sauce in our refrigerator almost all the time for dipping carrots, for dipping red pepper slices, celery, anything. It is so good. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so I say just add the hot water as needed until you get the consistency of a sauce that you really like. I think I'm going to have to add just a little bit more. But there we go. It's coming together. It's coming together. Okay. I use a spoon. You can pour it into whatever works. Whatever works for you. Okay. And then if you put this in the refrigerator and then you get it out and it's pretty thick, you can always add more hot water to help thin it out. Okay. I'm going to use the spoon to kind of get this out of the whisk because it got caught in there a little bit. There we go. Alrighty. So this is your sauce. It's a peanut sauce, super simple. Lime juice, sriracha, and soy sauce. Super easy. And we're making this in advance as well, so we can put this in the jar. Okay, or a container, whatever works. Here, let's do this. And put this in the container. So you can use this for your wraps. If you have leftovers, you can put it on a sandwich, in a wrap. So many options with the sauce. Okay, so make the sauce in advance. You already got it ready. The other tip to make in advance is getting the lettuce ready. Okay, so I bought a head of lettuce, or head of romaine, and I washed it. So we've got it all ready in pieces, ready to go. So if you want to do this days ahead of time, get some paper towels and be sure that the lettuce is already washed, or the romaine is already washed, and layer it in the paper towel. Then put another paper towel on top of that, there we go. And then layer the next layer, as many as you need, as many as you want. I'll do one more. And then all you have to do is just put this in a Ziploc bag. You can even roll it up and put it inside a Ziploc bag. Then you've got your romaine all ready to go. And then the shrimp part is super easy. So the recipe calls for boiling water, lemon juice, and Old Bay seasoning. You put the shrimp in there, boil it until it turns pink, until it's completely done. Put it in a bowl of ice cold water. And then your shrimp is ready to go. Then you chop your avocado, you grate your carrots, you got the sauce, you put it on the wraps. Super easy. Super easy. So there we go. That is all of our recipes for today. We've got the chicken shawarma bowls. You make the chickpeas ahead of time, you make the lemon tahini sauce ahead of time, and you make your grain ahead of time. You've saved so much time before the day you're eating it. You've got the honey sriracha chicken and broccoli bowls, super good. You make the sriracha sauce ahead of time, you make your grain ahead of time, you make the chicken and the broccoli the day of. Dinner's ready in less than 30 minutes, almost 20 minutes. Shrimp lettuce wraps with avocado. You make your peanut sauce ahead of time. You get your romaine lettuce ready ahead of time. All you have to do is cook the shrimp, chop your avocado, get your carrot grated. Dinner's ready in 15 minutes or less. Super, super easy. So if there are things in this video you want to watch again, we're going to have it on the site. So check it out. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Please let us know if you make these recipes because they look so good, and we are so happy to have you here today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy cooking. Okay, thanks.